What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have another regionals report, and this time it's from James, who got top 8 at Lancaster Regionals with his Bunnelby Slurpuff deck. Now, Bunnelby Slurpuff, the whole concept is kind of like the same like Garbodor deck we've been talking about here. You just go really aggressive here with Bunnelby, using Burrow to discard the cards, maybe Rototiller to get back cards if you need them. He played a 3-3 Slurpuff line to help draw through his deck with Tasting, because the cool thing you can do here is play like a Hex Maniac, a Team Flareground, or Zerozig, Tasting to draw more cards because you didn't really draw a card for that turn, and then you could use your Crushed Hammers, your Enhanced Hammers, whatever you need there. He did play the Team Aqua Secret Base, making where the retreat cost of each Pokemon play is one more instead of just like Hoopa has like 2, so you can always like license up a Hoopa because now it has a 3 retreat cost, and if you can Headringer, you can make where they don't have free retreat. He played the the Life Juice, so they take one less price card. And you're going to notice in this interview, he didn't have a webcam. So what he decided to do, I left it up to him. What should we do here? Either just have the Skype call open and somebody just listen to it, don't really watch it, or play a game with the deck while the interview is going on. So this time around, I actually recorded the game while the interview was going on, so you can watch the game while listening to the interview. And if you don't want to watch the game, you can just listen to the interview if you want to. Let me know if you like it. I'll do it for the people who do not have webcams or don't want to show their face for some reason. But hopefully you enjoy this video. Let me know what you think about this new concept I have for people who don't have webcams. Hopefully you enjoy this interview, and let's see the game and let's listen to the interview already. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing another regionals question and answer. And what's your name?
James Pickerel.
Okay, all right. And I know right now you're probably confused because there's a game going on, but this is actually his deck that we were showing. He didn't have a webcam, so I thought it'd be cool if we showed the game off. Just show how the deck works while we're doing the interview here. So what regionals are we talking about here?
Lancaster, Philadelphia.
Okay, all right. And we know that you played the Bunnelby Slurpuff deck. So how did your what decks did you play against in your rounds, and how did they go?
Well, round one was Night March. I ended up 2-0ing it. The first game, I got took by storm because he didn't know how to play against the deck. He was dropping Sycamores nearly every turn. I just ran him out of energy quickly with Enhanced Hammers, Zero Sick, Crushing Hammers, Flare Grunts. So it was really easy to deck him out the first game. Then game two, I kept Lysandering a Headringer Jirachi with Secret Base in play, so he couldn't retreat it. So when he was out of energy, he kept using Mew to Rototiller, but I'd force him to use a DC to retreat the Jirachi, and the third Lysander really came in clutch there.
Okay.
Round two, Toad Giratina. Game one, he won because I had a bad hand in the beginning, come out with turn one Quaking Punch. That game went really fast. But then turn two, deck was flowing nice, got rid of all of his energy quickly, and decked him with Burrow.
Okay.
Game three, it was going pretty well. He had like 3 energy left, but then he played AZ to pick up his Headringer Toad, and then N, and we both shuffled, so we got a game loss. So we tied that game.
Oh, okay.
So round three was another Toad Giratina. This one, I 2-0'd quickly. Well, it wasn't a 2-0. We tied game two out of time. So game one, once again, he didn't know how to play against it. And when he had 2 DCs left, one on a Toad, one on a Keldeo, he tried to rush and retreat to the Toad, but I had Team Aqua Secret Base in play, so we ended up just having to pass, and I Flare Grunted to win. So yeah, I was going to win next turn in game three anyways, game two, but we just tied on time. And then round four, played against another Toad Giratina. And like round one, he did not know how to play the matchup. And it's such a great matchup, and for me anyways, because it's all special energy, and I play so many supporters. So he played the Sycamore, I think, 5 times, and so he's easily decked him. And in game two, he didn't want to play Sycamore because of the last game, so he just drew past a couple turns, and I just burrowed him, and I was in such a good advantage he couldn't come back. But he played Shadow Triad, so it was kind of annoying for him to recurse lasers. But I still could deal with it because I got rid of all of his Verbanks.
Okay.
So then round 5, Toad Giratina again.
There's a theme going on.
Yeah, he was 5-0 and I was 4-0-1. So It was the only good matchup that I had of the 5-0s because I was going to be paired to 1 anyways. I knew that for sure. And so he asked ID, but I had to play out, and I just 2-0'd him quickly because he didn't know how to play the matchup and discarded DDEs early.
Okay.
And then round 6 was no, that was round 6. Like I said, round 5 was still Toad Giratina though, and so I just easily 2-0'd it because he didn't know how to play the matchup again, and so I got rid of it with Flare Gun 0-6 and a Slide Standard to lock a Giratina in the active. I think that was both games. And round 7, we just ID'd. It was Toad Giratina if I wanted to play it out, but so I went 5-0-2 going into top 8, which was on the same day. And I played against John Ng with Donphan. And so he 2-0'd me pretty easily. Like, I had a strategy to scatter turn between Shamans, but game 2 I figured out he played Jolteon, and the Hawlucha was just too strong. I tried to lock it in the active, but I couldn't find Team Aqua's secret base, and so he just easily took advantage of that and spinning turned a lot. He knew how to play the matchup so well. Like, he never played a Sycamore, I don't think, besides one. Like, he played one the whole series, and he didn't overextend at all, benched nothing. So he made top 4. Props to him.
Yeah, John's a really good player too, so
yeah.
no bad thing there. So in top 8, was there like any good matchups? Like, was there a lot of sides with Toad Giratina? And you just got
there's 2 Toad Giratinas, a Vespiquen, and 3 Donphans.
Ooh.
And so the way I went in as 3rd seed, I think the bottom 3 seeds were all Donphan. And so, there's 2 Donphans and a Toad Giratina for the bottom 3 seeds. So there was no way I was getting the good matchup because there was 2 Donphans.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Vespiquen was 1st seed. So
what ended up winning? Do you know?
Toad Giratina.
You're like auto wins.
Yeah.
That always stinks.
It was the one I ID'd with. So.
Okay. I mean, still top 8 is great, so congratulations.
Yeah, it was, and I'm a fairly new player, so it was really great to top 8 at event like regionals.
Okay. I guess the very first question is, why did you decide to play the Bunnelby Slurpuff deck? Like, nobody's really been talking about this deck until you kind of made top 8 with it.
Well, number 1, it's just really fun to play with, and most people underestimate it. Like, they see me flip over a Bunnelby, then bench a Nelder, and like, okay, it's Bunnelby Sableye. Then I bench a Swirlix, and it's like, okay, there's no way this is a competitive deck. And it's like, I just got 2-0'd by Bunnelby. It's like, it was really fun. In top 8, they told us if we made top 4, they wouldn't keep our decks over 9. I thought it was funny because half the kids said, oh, dang it, I can't test against whatever this is. So.
I guess the first question here is, why'd you decide to play the Slurpuff line instead of the Sableye, like that we've seen a lot of people play?
Consistency was a big thing, and I couldn't get my hands on Sableyes or Garbodors. And also, I just like the Slurpuff build better because I thought it was easier to draw through your deck and get the lock going, and it's a lot faster too. In such an aggressive format, I thought it was more necessary to play that. And, because Bunnelby's, I think, is more versatile because you have the 4 Bunnelby, so you can use Rototiller, like, 1 of each, 1 turn. You can't, like, with Junk Hunt, you have to get back 2 items. And with Bunnelby, you can get back supporters and stuff, which was great for the Toad Giratina matchup. And something that wasn't played at all, but I expected a bit of, was Trevin the Excelgor, and the deck covers a 1-hit knockout and not a knockout going into their turn. So I thought it was a good play, and it was just really fun.
Okay, alright. Now, we see that you play the 3 double color synergies. Was that because you were expecting to Sky Return a lot, or what was the theory behind that?
The main reason was just to retreat with Secret Base in play, because most things have a 1 retreat cost that's going to be last standard. And yeah, I ended up Sky Returning a lot. People were down to 2 prizes. They'd had a Headringer Shaman in the active. I'd 0-stick the Headringer and Sky Return. And so, like, the 3 DCEs, I could have played 4, which would I originally start with the 4-4 line. But I was scared of Enhanced Hammers because a way I lose is I deck out quickly because I draw through my deck, but then Rototiller. And so I didn't want to deck out that way because Toad Giratina also has a lot of energy removal.
That's very true. All right. Now we do see that you play, the Team Flare Grunt, the Zerosic, the Hex Maniac. What was your favorite tech supporter over the weekend?
Um, Hex Maniac really. It was a last minute decision, just like the third Flagrant, but it came in so clutch and like it's just a really underrated card in my opinion. Like there is so many times where my opponent needs to rush in to attack, or like round two, my opponent had a really dead hand, and they super scooped with the Shaman, and I used Hex Maniac at least 5 turns in a row to be able to take the game. Like the third Flagrant was really good too, but I just like the Hex a lot.
Okay. All right. So we do see they played the 4 Crush and Hammer. Do you remember if you're like more than 50-50, or were you just about even when you flipped the Crush and Hammers?
I think it was definitely less. Like in top 8, I didn't flip one head, so I only played like 3 or 4 Crushing Hammers because I wasn't rototilling most of the time.
Yeah.
But the ones I flipped during Swiss were the ones that really mattered, but I still flipped a lot of tails.
Okay. All right. Now, after looking at the list and playing in regionals, would you make any changes to the list, or you think the list is pretty perfect?
Like, there's nothing I really think I wanted to change. Like, for my matchups, I think it was pretty good. Like, for the Archie's Blastoise matchup, I was considering cutting 1 Ultra Ball for a Level Ball and 1 Shaman for a Jirachi, and probably the Hex or something for a Gexus. But then I was just thinking, 1, I can't get a Gexus, and 2, it just shuffles them back in, and we're going to have enough time to draw out of it because it's not taking advantage of them having nothing to do. So I just kept with that list, and there was only 1 Archie's Blastoise, which I was happy about, and I almost got paired against it, but I think that the list was pretty good in its own.
Okay, all right. Now, you talked about the Archistoys and how you're scared of that, and obviously the Donphin was not so much of a great matchup, but besides those 2 decks, what do you think are some other bad matchups for this Bunnelby deck?
1 is Bronzong, if they play multiple Seismitoad and don't prize them. Because the Metal Lynx just allows them to get back energies, and with the Quaking Punch, I can't Headring or Keldeo, so they can't rush in. In testing, that was a bad matchup. Also, Groudon, because they can't get rid of their energies. But if they start something like a Wobbuffet, then Groudon's a very winnable matchup because it's a 3 Lysander, and they only have so many switching cards.
True.
But yeah, I think Archistoys and Donphin are definitely the 2 worst matchups. Like, again, in top 8, I couldn't recurse the Life Dew enough because I wasn't drawing from my deck fast enough. So that's the way to beat the aggressive decks, is keep using a Life Dew.
Okay, all right. Now, when you were recapping like all your matches, you kept saying that the Sideswipe Giratina players didn't know how to play against you. If you were the Sideswipe Giratina player and you sat down and played against a Bunnelby deck, what do you do to beat that deck?
Like, there's not really much. You have to be not really one thing is drawing your energies because they only play 7 and you can only use 4 to Quaking Punch with them. So you gotta be able to draw your energies and be really conservative. Like, most people are taking the Sky Return strategy, but eventually I'm just gonna get a Headringer on it and they can't replace it. So there's not really much, but the Shadow Triad was definitely very annoying. But yeah.
Okay, all right. So, how many championship points are you at right now?
I think it's 124, halfway to my invite.
Okay, there you go. Now, coming up to cities, are you going to still play the Bunnelby deck, or are you thinking about switching to something else?
I'm probably switching because it's the loss of Life Dew and Colress, which is really underrated deck. It's just a really good draw card in it. But Life Dew is a big one because the decks are so aggressive nowadays, and it's just really good in general in that deck. So I'm probably switching to something like Vileplume or Rayquaza.
Okay, all right. Well, do you want to give any shout-outs to anybody?
My brothers Adam and Ryan for testing with me a lot. Also, Ken and Alex Young for testing a lot at league and stuff because he's my league organizer. And that's pretty much it. And my grandma, grandparents, and mom for helping me get there. And yeah, that's all I have shout-outs for.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. Once again, congrats on making top 8. And like you said, you are fairly new, so that's very great that you're performing so well so quickly at tournaments. But hopefully your cities runs, you have a great cities run, and hopefully you'll get your invite by the end of cities. That'd be pretty cool if you can get that done.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man.
Thank you.
Alright, man. Take care. Thank you for doing the interview.
Thanks. Bye.
All right.